All right, I'm here with two very special guests. We're right here in Etowah County with a young man I grew up with. We'll get into that in just a little bit, but I'm going to let these two gentlemen introduce themselves at this time.
I'm Tom Barnard, Blue Collar Fight Promotions LLC. We're looking to bring something different to the county. We've had a few MMA events that's came to our way over the last few years, but we're looking to bring something a little different, a little more action-packed, bringing some fighters in from out of state, some locally. We want to get a few guys in that, to represent our local talent here, and that's been a goal of mine for years, me and Scott Brooks both, and so that's kind of where we're at with this. We want to kind of bring y'all, the public, we want to bring y'all great matches and get y'all to see some of our local talent.
Yeah. So like Tom said, I'm Scott. I've been around this area for a long time, for my whole life. I grew up here. Me and Tom's been training together for probably 17 years now or something like that, and this is something that we've always wanted to do, and Tom's been fortunate enough the last year or so to get this in the works so we can get something in the works for the state and really Etowah County in general.
I'm going to ask both of you guys this right here. You mentioned it, Tom. We've had some events here. We've had some good ones. We've seen some good fighters and some great fights. What was it that made you want to jump in there, you guys both, to jump in there and like, hey man, I'm not taking away nothing that's been prior, but I want to add to and do it our way?
Well, I had several cage fights. I'm a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, still training on the circuit, still competing, every chance I can get, super fights. I just competed 2 months ago and beat Justin Cavender, a black belt out of Nashville, Tennessee. So I'm really got my feet in it. Like, I'm not just here to bring an event. I'm here to push local fighters through something bigger than what we can do around this area without having to travel to Atlanta or Nashville or, Birmingham. I'm wanting to bring something right here at our corner, of this state in Etowah County to really push the great fighters we have that comes through this community, like myself and Scott. Scott fought, I fought. Some of these local guys are getting the opportunity now to really showcase themselves without having to jump into something in a different state or travel like me and Scott did, our whole career. So that's something that, has really been on my heart to bring to this county.
Yeah, so, pretty much what Tom said is, just trying to bring something to Etowah County and the area so we don't have to travel. Like when I was fighting, I had to travel to Birmingham to train. We got some local gyms here, but I had to branch out to get better quality opponents, better everything. So we're trying to bring all of that here, all the fighters here. Tom, I'm sure we'll touch on it later, but we have a gym that's going to be open probably late July, early August.
Yeah, probably mid-August to late August.
Yeah, so that we'll be able to bring everybody together, all the local gyms. We can all come here, train together, so.
Scott, right here with you, how difficult is it putting on an event like this? Taking on, you got to cross all the T's, you got to dot all the I's. You can't look up over your shoulder and have somebody up over you saying, "Oh, we'll take care of that." No. You're the guys that everybody else is looking to. Talk about that.
Yeah. So it's a lot more than we expected it to be. We're trying to find fights. We're competing with out-of-state promotions to get other fighters to come in. We're trying to match the best fights we can. We got to get all the paperwork done. We got to get hotel rooms for everybody. We got to get blood work. We got to get licensing. Everything is just a whole lot of stuff that is thrown on top of you that you didn't realize that you had to do. So it's a lot, but it's going to be worth it, and we're going to have some great fights coming on July 12th. So.
Tom, same kind of question, but a little bit different angle. What's been the most surprising thing that you thought, man, I didn't even know we had to deal with this heading into this?
Most surprising thing, I guess, is really all the footwork that goes into it. I thought it was going to be as simple as call a couple gyms up, hey, bring some fighters, let's put on a show. Back when we fought, that's what it was. Simple. It wasn't it wasn't the footwork that I've had in my mind that we have to do today.
It's the grind, huh?
Yeah, it's the grind. Scott, if it ain't a normal night if I ain't on the phone with him at 1 o'clock in the morning trying to get answers. So if we ain't, if I'm, and we both have normal jobs, this is something this ain't our job. So we both have normal jobs. So it's tough, but it's something that that's well worth. It's going to be well worth it in the end. Coming from where we come from, it's easy. There's definitely a lot of footwork. So that, I guess, on that question, that would be it's the footwork that we're having to put in, the actual mileage that we're having to put in to get this event to where we can bring a good show to you guys. So that's that's the extra that for me that would be. So
who are some of these guys that y'all have coming here competing that you have your hands on you're really excited to see? I mean, I know you want to see all your fighters. You can touch on each one of them at this time, a little bit about all of them, because they've all earned their stripes to
absolutely
even crawl into a ring.
Yeah, we have Daniel Pierce. Me and Daniel, when I started fighting, Daniel was my training partner. If I went, he went. So I'm glad to see him, get an opportunity to really shine right here in his hometown. And he's already sold a ton of tickets, several tables, several tickets, and he, on top of us doing what we do to make a great show, he's putting the footwork in. All these fighters are. Everybody in the gym, is putting in all the effort that we need them, to do to make this event great for you guys. But touching on fighters, Daniel Pierce, seeing him get an opportunity. One of my good friends I play ball with, Kathan Holiday, he's been training, putting the work in. He's on the mats daily. Caleb on the mats daily. E.L. Chapman. We've got all these fighters in here. I'm looking, forward to seeing Hannah Gladden. Hannah, God, that match Hannah's got.
Yeah.
We got Hannah fighting Taylor Klemoff out of North Carolina, right?
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Charleston, South Carolina.
And this girl represented Team USA and D1 wrestler. And then we got Hannah. Of course, everybody knows Hannah Gladden locally. She represented Team USA on a rip. Destroying everybody. Well, how will that transition to MMA? We have to find out. That's what we're here for. She's putting the time in. She's putting the, everything she's supposed to do. She's putting in to really make her debut be something special for all you guys. So she's putting the work in. She's cross training, and she's training here some. She's cross training at 10th Planet Birmingham, Spartan Fitness. She's moving around a lot, so she's really getting that. She's really getting that training that she needs. Daniel, he's not only here with us, but he's training. He's cross training. He's got John LeMaster, my black belt instructor. He's got him a couple nights a week coming in. We got, so we're bringing people in to really get these fighters at the best ability they can to put on a great show for everyone. So it's good seeing people like E.L. Chapman, seeing E.L. come in and really turn this in from a hobby to something that he can make a future out of. That's what I like. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm saying, we got some of the newer guys, EL and Kathan Holiday that Tom talked about. They're still newer into the training and learning what they got to put in, and learning that you might be an athlete on the street. That doesn't translate into here, because you're not moving humans. Yeah, you're not moving humans. You're not having somebody punch you in the face while you're trying to stop them from taking your back and choking you out, or grabbing your arm and trying to break your arm and stuff like that. So,
Scott, right back when you sweat and bled and ran and threw up and went through hell preparing guys for a fight, and then you're cornering those guys. Talk about your emotions. You're in there with them. So to speak, can you talk about that? But you got to stay level-headed. You can't get too emotional and tell them to do something stupid.
Right. So for me, when I was fighting, it was easy, because I just had to go in there and I just had to do my job.
React.
Right. But when I'm coaching a fighter and I'm in the corner telling them what to do, I can't just watch them and I can't focus on what they're doing. I have to focus on the opponent. I have to know what steps this guy's making, the movement he makes, where he's moving his head. And so you've got to learn how to take all of that and process it quickly enough to where you can make those adjustments on the fly. I mean, you get a minute in between every round, but sometimes you don't make it to that minute, right? So you gotta be able to see and think steps ahead. And so it's very stressful. And for me, it is. I get more nervous cornering our fighters than I did when I was fighting.
That makes sense. Tom,
Yeah, absolutely.
Same question for you.
Same thing, touching on where Scott left off. It's training these guys and putting in this work with these guys and really feeling what they feel, knowing what me and him's been through, knowing the work we did, and seeing it on the other side now, knowing what our cornermans went through, knowing what our friends that was training us to get ready for this fight, knowing the feelings that they felt is what we're feeling now, and that's a little bit different. I fought my whole life and I still compete, like I said, as much as I can, but that's not nerve-wracking to me. The nervous part is when I'm walking my fighter down to the cage and putting that Vaseline on his face and getting him ready to walk into war. That's where I feel it. That's the feeling I get. And there's nothing like it. Even when I fought, I didn't get that feeling. What I'm getting now with getting these guys ready and preparing them to go to this war that we've been in several times is, it's on top of holding the show and running the gym. Like Scott said, we're bringing this gym here, so we've got this huge, it's a huge responsibility on our shoulders now to not let these kids down, and not just the fighters that's fighting, but this future that's coming through our area, these young kids that's in here training, the future that's coming up. It's just a whole different world when you're putting your blood, sweat, and tears into somebody outside of yourself, wanting them to accomplish what you've accomplished, pushing them that extra mile. It's a whole different feeling that you get, same, it's just.
Yeah, and you've got to know your fighters.
Got to know your fighters. So
you might have one fighter that's really good at stand-up, and you might have one fighter that's really good on the ground. So you got to know what their strengths are, so you don't tell them to do the wrong thing too. So it's
one step up by you guys could cost.
Absolutely.
Right.
These guys have our, and that's another thing. These guys have our, it's what we say. If we tell them, like you said, if we tell them something wrong, if we tell them something wrong, that loss is on us, and that's, outside of getting these guys ready in here, me and Scott, this fight, we won't be cornering. We'll have our team. We got John LeMaster, we got hopefully Mingo, we got Toby P, Cody, we got Cody Cooper. Cody's fighting on BKB this week.
Boxing next weekend.
Yeah, next weekend. So we'll be on top of getting everybody ready. We'll have me and Scott. I think we're going to just promote this show and really run it like it needs to be ran. Yeah. But we'll have guys in our corners that's in here with us on a daily grind, really pushing these fighters and really understanding. Right now on the mat, we got 10 guys rolling, so they're really pushing this. They're really learning these fighters. That way they can teach them their best. Get them the best spot they need to be to win these fights.
Tom, a couple more questions before I get you out of here. We're sitting in a beautiful gym right here. When I walked in, I was blown away. I said this earlier in the interview. The mat space here is unbelievable. Like, you get 30, 40 guys out there. You got UFC bag holder here. We're sitting in a beautiful ring right here, $20-something thousand ring. Talk about this gym that's coming along, and both of you guys can touch on it. What went into this?
Well, this is something I used to run past this building when I trained. 21 years old, me and Daniel, a few more of us would run to our next gym. We'd pass this building. I've always wanted this building because I felt like it was big enough to facilitate what I want to bring to Atala, Alabama. A year and a half ago, I was able to purchase this building, cash money, no overhead. So I've slowly been putting the work in over the last year and a half to not really jump the gun, but to really put something here that people want to be in. It's always been a dream of ours to have something in our hometown. We won't have to travel and train an hour away or 30 minutes, 45 minutes away. So this is our own little quarters. Now I'm a black belt, and I got John LeMaster black belt. I've got these people in my corner now to really have a good start of something right here in Atala, Alabama. The city of Atala has really been behind me and helped me every corner, everything. Any corner I've hit that I thought I was going to have a hiccup, the city's been here to really back me on it, and it really helped me push this dream through. The city of Gadsden, the same way with the fight promotion. The city of Gadsden, the venue, outstanding. They've been outstanding. If I need something, I call Kayla. She really put the footwork in to help me make this. Scott Elkins really put the footwork in to make this happen. These are guys I see that's in our corner. not just here in my own city of Tyler, but in Gadsden, that's really wanting to see this stuff grow, really wanting to bring something different than what we don't really lay eyes on. We see football, love football. We see basketball, love basketball. We see baseball, we love baseball. That's what everybody's, but let's watch some MMA. Let's get this, Etowah, Coach Peavy. Coach Peavy just got a wrestling team at Etowah. My goal was to open this gym up, get a mat to facilitate some kids. Hopefully 3 or 4 of them like this enough to start a wrestling program at Etowah. Guess what? That footwork's done. Coach Peavy's already done that. Coach Peavy, being the great coach he is, and being able to the wrestling coach that he's really brought this here. Now we can get some of these kids on the mat, moving around, really feeling this, getting a love for this sport that we didn't have when we was growing up. We just didn't have it. Some kids like to fight. Some kids like to throw a football. Some kids like to hit a baseball. Some kids like to fight. Some kids like to wrestle. This is what,
especially here in Italic.
Especially here in Italic. You know as well as I do where we grew up at, Bo. This is, this is some kids. This could be their spot. This could be their spot, and we could really start getting this youth into this program. And hopefully we get a youth wrestling program here at Etowah County too. I know, or at Italic also. I know. I've heard some people talk about that. So hopefully we can bring a youth wrestling program here and really start touching on this. I think my calling is working with the youth. I've been blessed enough to have the opportunity to really put some time and and stuff kind of fell in my lap a little bit to really get this going. So, but I couldn't be where I'm at without people, Bo, like you, just big influence in my life. People like Scott. I call Scott. This wasn't Scott's plan, but look where Scott's at. Scott's been with me from day one, side by side. People like Daniel and, my wife, my wife's at home right now, no headache, nothing. Go to the gym, go to the gym. Go train, go train. Open the gym up, open the gym up. Anything I wanted to do, she sat back and let me run this course. Without people like her and Scott and, you and, people that influenced me to be the person I am today, none of this would be, I wouldn't have any of this. So this is a big dream of mine, big dream of Scott's and all these guys that's been, that's put the footwork in. This is for everybody. I tell everybody when we come in this gym, we're not here to shut anybody down or run anybody off. We're here for all of our surrounding counties to have a central location. If anybody wants to come, this is open to everybody, women, kids. Once we open these doors and we cut that ribbon out front, this is going to be a place for everybody to be, from age age 6 all the way up to age 70. This is going to be something that can change people's lives. And now we got a fight promotion. We can push our local people that's training. We can push them through this promotion to really excel in this sport. So, anything I left out?
Yeah. So obviously none of this would be able to take place without Tom being able to get this building and put all the work and the monetary value that has to go into this to open it. But like Tom said, with starting from 5-6 years old on up, yeah, we're gonna have fighters, but our focus are gonna be kids, right? To get the kids off the street, to get the kids that are having trouble in school and stuff like that, getting them in here, learning the self-confidence in themselves that it's gonna take to get through life, really.
They'll learn humility in here too.
Yes. So, like, I don't really like telling the story because it kind of, I feel like I'm bragging about myself. But we had a guy at one of our old gyms, street fighter, came into the gym, beat everybody up. I wasn't at the gym. Tom called me, said, "Hey man, I need you to come down the gym. We got this guy here." We went in there and I destroyed him. But from that day forward, we became best friends. And so he learned that you're not the biggest and you're not the baddest on the street.
There's definitely levels to this.
So coming in and learning this thing, one, yeah, you learn how to fight. When people think that, they think, why would you want to learn how to fight? Because then you're just going to go out onto the street and do those things. When you come into an MMA gym and you're in here training, the last thing on your mind is to go to the street and fight. Right, because you know things, it's hard to explain. It kind of brings you down. It humbles you for sure, but it also brings you down to a level where you're cool and calm most of the time. It's a great anger management type deal. You know, you having a bad day, you come in here, get with one of the coaches.
Good release.
Yes,
good release.
You come in, you have a bad day, you come in here, get with one of the coaches, get on the bag, let the coach, you know, walk you through some combos, you know.
And you're coming into a place that you're building a family, like you're building bonds with these people. You're in here putting in the hours, the blood, the sweat, like you said, the tears. You're putting in the work. You're really, you're really in here building relationships.
Yeah.
You're building lifetime bonds. Some of the people that I'm friends with today is people in my life that I would have never thought that I probably would have never ran across these people. And it's people like that that's really, that's really come into my life and touched my heart to, and it would have never happened without this, without this sport. And that's why we're doing what we're doing today. We're doing what we're doing today, Bo, to really bring our youth, to really introduce them into something I was introduced years ago that changed the direction of my life and made me the man I am today. And that's what I'm wanting to do. I'm wanting to touch somebody's life.
Real quick, I'm going to shut the video down because we have all these interviews everybody wants to see, but the event itself, the floors, you guys, time, date, location, how do people get tickets, all that good stuff.
The event, July the 12th. July the 12th at the venue at Coosa Landing. Beautiful venue, beautiful building, excellent staff. It'll be set up. Doors open at 5 o'clock, fights start at 6 o'clock. Tickets are going fast. We'll have a website. We'll have the website set up in the next couple of days where you can go online and buy tickets. If y'all need tickets any other way, you can shoot Tom Barnard or Scott Brooks a message on Facebook or even a message to Average Goes, and we can get in touch with those. Any of the fighters, if you know a fighter, get a ticket from them. They get a little bit of kickback from that. That's all they can make because they're not allowed to be paid. So they only get a little bit of kickback from their tickets. So if you can help them out that way. We have some great fights coming up. I think right now we have 12 fights on paper. We're trying to get to the 15 number. Yeah, so we'll have that, touch more on that website. Once we get it'll be Fighter Ticks.
Yes.
Once we get the Fighter Ticks website set up, go on the website, type in your fighter's name. Make sure when you order a ticket to click the fighter that you want. If you don't see one that you know, watch this interview. See who you feel, more compelled to help out. Add that fighter's name to the ticket sale. They'll get a little kickback, like Scott said, from that ticket sale. But July the 12th, 5 o'clock. Doors open at 5. Fight start at 6. Coosa, the venue at Coosa Landing. Come in, find me and Scott. We'll take you and introduce you to some fighters, man. This is going to be hands down. We're trying to bring the biggest show to this area that we can possibly bring.
Guys, appreciate the interview. This interview is going to be put up in the next day or so. And hey, guys, good luck to the event. I know you guys are going to kill it because you guys have done a lot of blood, sweat, and tears inside this ring. Now it's time to promote and get people outside the ring watching this ring once again.
Hey, one more thing. Blue Collar Fight Promotions, LLC on Facebook. Go add us, follow us, do whatever you got to do. Shout out to Average Joe. This is a new shirt right here. Y'all get with Bo, get y'all one of these fresh shirts. This is where it's at right here.
Appreciate the shout out, man. Thank you guys so much.